All right, all right. Okay. Well, welcome to our Literary Soul Fest. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our internet audience as well. We're excited about today because just going to bring forth some awesome authors and their stories on today. A lot of these authors are part of our Authors Network, Lighthouse Authors, and we just want an opportunity, we want to give them an opportunity to share their story, and they got some awesome work. And a lot of these authors will also be at the Trinity River Book Festival that's coming up on September 12th. So mark your calendars and plan to join us at Trinity Park in Fort Worth on September 12th. We will be there. It'll be over 50 authors. We're just going to turn that park into a literary oasis on that day. So definitely join us on September 12th for the Trinity. And okay, so we have two wonderful authors here with us now. So quickly, just kind of introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your book, your work. So you go ahead and go first, Jess.
Hello, my name is Giselle Roulette, and I am a Black cozy romance author. My debut novel is called The Season of Almost, and it is a cozy romance about a woman who is pretty much tired of her almost. She goes to a winter retreat to reset and end up getting snowed in with a mysterious man who is definitely more than meets the eye. So if you like a cozy romance about healing, love, happily ever afters and things like that, then this would definitely be the book to check out, especially if you're looking for a holiday read. I will also be at the Trinity Book Fair because I'm actually relaunching September 12th, which is the same day as the festival. So I'm actually really excited. So I'm going to be relaunching in first person POV. It's going to be deeper world building. It's going to be richer scenes. So definitely stay tuned. And I'm excited to see you all there. And I'm excited for this festival as well. So thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm ready to go for it.
First of all, I'd like to say thank Doc Shop Books for putting this on, and they're always doing awesome things for the community. My name is Charles Beasley. I'm author of The Queens of Drake Tomania. It's a Black historical fiction book. This book is based in the 1800s about three girls on a plantation that have a chance encounter meeting with a dignitary from Ghana, from Africa. He gives them three medallions that are on the cover, and but he don't tell them the medallions hold powers. And later on, when the slave owners decide to kill the girls, the medallions light up. They get their superpowers, and they take over the plantation and set everybody free from North Carolina all the way down to Florida. Drapetomania was a word, actual word used during slavery to describe uncooperative slaves. If you were a person that knew that you were not property, but you were a person, they deemed you having a mental condition called drapetomania, and that's where that name comes from.
Interesting. Okay. So what's your inspiration for your book?
Well, when I read doing research about our time in this country in chattel slavery, just about every story you read has a bad ending, a sad ending, or horrific, violent ending. And I wanted to create a story that flips the tables and that we can see ourselves in a resistant and a conquering role instead of being conquered.
Okay, okay. And now, when was your book released?
November of 24.
Okay, okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, is this your first, or is there more to come, or what's?
This is the first, but it'll be a trilogy, so it's the first of three.
Okay, wonderful. And tell us your inspiration. What's kind of inspiring you to do your romance?
Um, Yes, so what inspired me is I've always loved watching rom-coms on TV, things like that. So I think that
What's your
inspired,
favorite rom com?
that's kind of hard.
Okay, I will put you on the spot. Go ahead. There's a lot of them, right?
Yes. So I think being inspired by that inspired me to want to put something out there that's my own work. I always love writing and things like that, but December 2026, the beginning of the year, I launched this book. So it was nerve-wracking being an indie author and just trying to go out there and do it, even though you don't really know, you don't have really like a manual or like a guide to some of the things. So it was kind of like learning trial by error. So it was a great experience overall. But me relaunching, I feel like I'm putting out the story that I really, really wanted to put out in the first place. So with me putting in first person POV and then like just kind of making the scenes a little bit more richer. I think this is going to be a really great relaunch. So I'm actually really excited for relaunching my debut again. So, yeah.
Well, awesome, awesome. Does anyone have any questions for our two fiction authors that are here today? One dealing with romance. We all love a good love story, and we need love stories, okay? Even men, y'all, I encourage men to read a romance every once in a while. It would change your life. It would change your life. And I love the sci-fi fiction book that you got going on with historical fiction. That's awesome. And so, any questions for these authors? Oh yes, Miss Trevelia. Then I'll come to you. What is your favorite part of the book? Oh, that's a good question. And now I want both of you to answer that. So go ahead. I want to give you the mic. What is your favorite part of your book? Without giving us too much spoilers, tell us some juicy stuff.
I think my favorite part of the book would be Jordan Woods, which is the FMC of the book. She is snowed in. She pretty much gets into journaling more, learning about herself. But the thing that I love about this book is that it has soft magic in it. So she finds out that she has some magic along the way. So I think that's pretty inspiring. She ends up meeting some great people along the way at this retreat, and it just becomes a really great overall experience. She's there for 7 days. So just imagine being at a retreat snowed in for 7 days and all the fun that can happen. So yes, I think I think that definitely says enough without giving away too much. But yeah.
So for me, the favorite part of my book is chapter 9. And the reason that's my favorite is because, I'm dealing with slavery. So as one of the characters got sold off from North Carolina to Arkansas. When they go to Arkansas, that's where my dad's side of the family is from. So I wove part of my family, characters from my family into the story and made it personal. So that's why chapter 9 is my favorite.
Okay, interesting. Did you have a question?
I did for the romance novel. Are there any, we're used to the Hallmark movies and how everything happens and, they end up with a happily ever after. Are there any twists in your book that are unexpected?
I feel like there is some mystery to it, especially with the updates that I recently did. So the the MMC, the male, he is not from Earth. If you can kind of tell from his ears, he got some elf ears. So he's not from Earth. He pretty much is on a mission. He's also snowed in, hence them two being snowed in the cabin together. So there's a lot of things in the sense of magic that I think it's a little bit more than meets the eye. I do think of like a Black Hallmark vibes when it comes to my story. I definitely intertwine that a little bit, along with some fun references like him being a black alien from TikTok and stuff like that. But I think it's a little different than other people's stories. I think mine is a little unique, but I think I can show it better. I can tell it. So I will, it's more coming, especially September 12th.
Okay. All right. So look. Okay, I need a correction. So it's a romantasy.
Yes, it's a black
It's a,
romance.
it's a romantasy. That's a genre now. Okay. And then we have historical fiction, sci-fi going on. And that's is that also dystopian kind?
Kind of Afrofuturism.
Yeah, okay, yes. It's so many genres now. I'm trying to keep up with them all. Okay, so any other questions for authors? If not, Ashley, would you take a picture of us, of me, and with the fiction authors? You got my phone? Okay. Hold your books. Make sure you got your books up. Okay.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Okay, Donnie, you have a question? Go ahead.
Who is your favorite author that you like today or that you read today?
Right now, I love Tessa Stone, Kimberly Lemming. She has a very fun imagination. So I've been really into audiobooks lately, but I really been getting into like romance paranormal. So Tessa Stone has been my ultimate favorite right now. I've been really into the paranormal romance.
Okay.
For me, would be a toss-up between Ta-Nehisi Coates and the sister that wrote the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah Jones. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out and joining us on today. And I'm gonna ask you to go back to your tables, and then we'll ask my nonfiction authors to come up, because we gotta keep it going. Thank you. Okay, nonfiction, come on, Trevelia and Arlena and Ronald and Marcus. We're gonna have this in share mics. And while we're coming up, play love is a key, because this is a soul fest, so we have to have some music in between. Let me get my chair.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I in the film?
So we're hoping we get this nice recording in C-SPAN to pick it up. So y'all might want to be real animated. I'll just play.
Okay, maybe I'll go this way. Am I in it now?
Yeah.
Okay, Mom, you can see me?
That's good.
Okay. All right, well, we'll do the music piece after this segment, okay?
I get it.
Ariana, she has her music up there. She must be with this one. Okay, so here we go. Okay, because we are live. Wave, everybody, wave. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to allow each, they're going to share a mic, and oh, we got 3 now. Thank you, Diane. And I hope my gosh. All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask each author to introduce themselves and to share something about you that you should know. Okay. I don't even want you to mention the title of your book yet. I just want you to just share something about you that we should know. And I'm going to start with Arlene.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arlena Portrait.
It's not. Okay, give her this mic. And so I get that fixed. So I want to hear.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arlena Portrait. It's a pleasure to be here. And something you may not know about me, I'm the oldest child, oldest daughter of 9 siblings. So I have 9 siblings. I grew up with 9.
So you have a lot of patience. Are you the oldest or?
I'm the oldest daughter, which means I'm still the oldest because God's done to us.
That might be some truth to that one. Okay.
My name is Marcus Lee Stevenson. I'm the 5th child of 9 children. A lot of people don't know I'm a nerd. Always have been. I love art, love to draw and paint. So.
Hi, I'm Trevelia Hodge, and I'm not the oldest of 9 or amongst 9. She was just 3 of us. And something people don't know about me is that I started taking opera lessons, and I would like to become opera singer.
Good afternoon, I'm Ronald E. Jones. Many people know me as the former mayor of Garland, the senior pastor of the historic New Hope Church in Dallas. But a season of my life, I was a fashion designer. I put that in the book, and it's interesting when people read it. They say, I've known you all these years and didn't know that about you.
No. Oh, see, this is not working.
It's on.
Benny,
It's on. It's just low.
you can hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me.
I'm okay. I just feel like I'm not as loud as everybody. Okay, a fashion designer. Wow.
Initially, I majored in art. What you see now is the beautiful University of Texas at Arlington.
Uh-huh.
I know I am the oldest up here. We desegregated that school in 1962. It was Arlington State College, a 2-year university under the A&M system. The next year, 2 years later, it became under the Texas system. But we desegregated it. 7 students from Madison High School, 3 from I.M. Terrell.
Wow.
Good. I talked about that a little bit in the book. I didn't want to get too much, but it's interesting. So,
We have a living legend among us. Okay.
matter of fact, let me just add this. All of you, did you know Gwen Bobby?
Yes, I know Green Barbie. She was with
Green
the.
Barbie met, model my fashion, original
Okay.
model. I mean, went way back.
She was with the Fort Worth Black Chamber back
Yeah.
in the day.
Anyway,
Yes. Yes.
nevertheless, this book covers really 8 generations of my life experience, and I had to meander that in a way to loop it, to not make people boring and interesting. And less interesting. Most people always want to talk about the 3 consecutive terms as mayor. They always want to talk about that. They want to talk about me being pastor, but I love to talk about me working 29 years as assistant city manager for the city and bringing in a lot of minorities into the system. But something happened in my life in 2018 on October 7th. Out of all the accomplishments I had and being blessed with, and the accolade that had come my way, and enabling me to bless others. On October 7, 2018, as senior pastor, I preached, I administered the Holy Communion, the Eucharist. I visited with members. I went into the pastor's study, and that's all I remember. Days later, when I opened my eyes, I knew I was in the hospital. And that's where a major medical situation had happened that almost took my life. So I spent 179 days in intensive care. I had 4 respiratory arrests where I had totally stopped breathing. I had 5 major surgeries, one lasting 7.5, 8 hours. I had a tracheotomy tube for 9 months. I had a feeding tube for 7 months. The doctors wanted to give up on me. That's why I always tell my 2 sons. I told one of the authors earlier, I said, one of the young men, hope your wife loved you like my wife loved me. They tried to talk her into letting me go. She wouldn't do it. And so I tell the story. I was going to focus basically on that divine long healing process. But my publisher said, you got to put these other antidotes in this story about you. And so ultimately it's about that journey of being so grateful, growing and loving God's grace, having the resilience, seeing it through, and being a blessing to others. Each chapter, each division ends with a reflection, and then I give some insights to help an individual grow. And that's why I call it a reflection. We love to talk about the past, and I do, we reflect on it, but I think it should always function as fuel to move us forward, to continue moving. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to do something in life. So,
You're looking good. You went in. That's why the schoolwork. You've been through a lot.
well, you can.
Yeah.
Great job. You really look good. Oh, I was raised for a
No disrespect. No
All
disrespect.
right, thank you.
Yeah, for all that you've been through.
I'm glad my
Wow.
wife is hearing this.
Okay, Trevia, tell us about your story.
Okay, the title of my latest book is Silence Interrupted, A Griever's Confession. And this story is a personal story. It's filled with lyrical essays, poetry, also short memoirs, and just allowing myself to talk about different areas in my life where I had to grieve, not just people, but parts of myself. And like you said, fuel of what happened in my past that pushed me forward.
Amen.
So many people say you don't look like what you've been through, but I always tell people that God promised me beauty for ashes. And so I believe in that. And so I walk through that. So with losing 90% of my immediate family, losing a son, my youngest brother last year, I have a large extended family. So shout out to y'all. I love you so much. And a lot of friends that are family, but to walk through this life with, so much loss, and in the last 10 years, an extremely a large amount. But I asked God what to do with it. And he says, share why your heart is still intact and why you love the way you do. So this is my contribution to whoever needs it. And I'm very grateful for it.
And Trevia has a wonderful children's book that helps children deal with loss. Yes, and it's a beautiful book. We may have some in store now. I have to check. But yes,
I
That's my.
That was your first one, the children's book.
The baby elephant with the blue balloon. I believe part of my life work outside of being an artist. I am an artist and I love, like you said, I love art. And
You paint?
yeah, I paint for me. Not for maybe one day I'll share it. But I love plays. So I've been told I have to do another one. So in 2027, I will have another play coming out prayerfully. And so I just want to help people, especially in communities that don't have access to someone who can help you with grief. I'm a certified grief educator. I am a Share Hope ambassador for the National Alliance of Mental Illnesses. I'm also a certified mental health aide. And it came from just me needing the help with my mental health with so many things that I didn't have outlet for and not knowing, and being raised in the church and knowing the Lord, but Jesus and therapy and a little bit of medicine when I needed it helped me get a long way. And that's something that it used to be something that was a stigma, but I'm proud of it because I learned to take care of me. And I believe God was he was so kind to say, this is okay, and go through this journey. And now when you're in this space, share it. So I have other books that are to come to help, and it'll all be centered around helping people with grief and loss, and also mourning, which is very important if that's something that, and don't, be stigmatized or think that there's a time that you have to stop with where you are in life. You just keep going and get the right circle around you to help you through those challenging times.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
Okay, Marcus.
Wow, that was deep. Yeah, we share a lot. So,
Okay.
my book is Finding My Brother. It's a hard catching book. It was a book that, how you have a book you don't want to write, but God said write it. Because I was like, I don't want people to know. But he would say, it's not about you.
Amen.
So when I start writing this book, again, I didn't want to write it, but when he wakes you up at 2, 3 in the morning every day until you get on that computer and start typing, and I'm a different type author. Typically when I write, it's like watching a movie with captions. So I close my eyes, and I get on my laptop, and I just type. I'll go back and clean it up later, but it's like I'm seeing everything, and I'm typing in the captions that come across the screen. The book is very impactful. Talks about deep family secrets where you don't want to tell nobody. Nothing crazy, but the truth. Sometimes the truth is the truth. It may hurt like hell, and it will. The confusion. Imagine being a kid, and there's a character in this book. It's true. We call him Uncle Jake. Everybody want to know who Uncle Jake is. I wanted to know who Uncle Jake was. To this day, I still didn't know. He's long past, but he was always around. We always called him Uncle Jake. Didn't know why. Wasn't my grandmother brother, but he was always around my grandmother. Wasn't my grandfather brother, but he was always around my grandfather. And we've all had uncles and aunts that we call uncles and aunts, and there's no real bloodline. But the mystery in this is for me growing up, and you have cousins that feel more like your brother than your cousin. Then you understand later that this cousin was adopted at 7 months years old, but you didn't know that because you was around that same age anyway. So you start thinking, man, we have more relationships in being siblings than we are cousins. So I had to write this book to really dig down deep and to really understand why we was told to be seen and not heard. Because when we go in the room where the older folks was talking, as soon as the kids come in there, the whispers like, shh, be quiet, they hear. And I'm like, well, what did we do? We've all went outside, drink under the hydrant because you can come back in, tell them my age. But that's good though. But basically, I want people to get out of this book is when you find your truth, it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna help you. It's no judgment because what our ancestors and parents and grandparents did back then. We just want to know, who are we at the realm of it? Who can we be better than ourselves if we didn't know where we come from? So as long as I know where I'm coming from, I know where I'm going. So after I wrote this book, one of my favorite chapters in this book is called DNA. Getting ready to do my DNA. We already know, but you just got to have it right here. Um, I get emotional about when I write, because I write from my heart, not from a theory. I write from what has been told, what has been seen, and the notes. True story, my mom passed away 9 years ago, I think about 9 years ago. And my sister, my baby sister, one of my aunties, again, not blood aunt, we just call her auntie. She asked my sister, "Did your mom leave that letter for you?" She said, "What letter?" She said, "Well, never mind." And my sister would come to me and say, "Well, I don't know why they hold all these secrets. If you got something to say, just say it." Because I think it still bothers my sister, it still bothers me, because now we wondering what was in the letter. So the book talks about hidden letters, hidden photographs. Uh, I talk about. Also have a talk show called the Marcus Lee Stevenson Show. So every now and then I'll talk about what I'm writing. But one of my favorite things to say is my next book is my best book, because what God has given me in writing, I couldn't have done it on my own. So I'd like for my readers and friends and people who follow me on my Instagram and social media stuff, that what you get out of me is truth. This book is a page turner. Every page, every chapter, you're not gonna want to put it down. When I finally got my final copy, I read it. And typically I write other things, but I'm like rereading it. But this right here, I was like, man, it's 2, 3 in the morning. I had to put it up. So give it to you.
A book full of secrets.
Yes.
We can all relate to that.
Yeah.
This is my fourth book. It's called From Wife-ish to Wife. And this book came about accidentally as we were called to counsel young married couples out of the blue. We were at a church for many years and we left that church and went someplace else. And someone called and said, "Well, where are y'all? We're not there anymore. Well, can we come by and talk to y'all? We're having some marital problems." My husband and I were like, "They want to talk to us?" So after years of doing that, I decided that it's time to put this in writing to help other young married couples stay married. It works if you work it. We've been married for 30 years, and this book is really quite a giggle. It's true stories, how I handle them wifishly, and then how I grew up to be a wife, and we grew together. So it's quite a giggle, but at the end of every chapter, there's a reflection because we're Christians. And the Lord has been the center of our marriage all these years, even when we didn't know it, that He was there. But it really is all the counseling that we did and the story that we told the young folks. And I think out of the 10, 11 couples that we counseled, I think only one has gotten divorced. And some still come back. Now they have children, they come back and they ask us questions still. So I consider myself a hope writer. This is my fourth book. Every book is about making it through something. The first book was Flashes in the Fog, talked about grief, losing my only son, was killed. After that, there was a book called Danielle and the Lions Den, because I've been in corporate America for 37 years and all the drama that goes on with that for women. And then my mother had dementia. So I had to care for her. And it's a book about caregiving, even through dementia. So when God gives you something, it's for a purpose. It's not just for us. So I just put it out there. So, but this book to me is the biggest giggle. My husband and I, we are who we are. One of the chapters is called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. You don't get a Loomis and a Leaner at church, and then you get them a different one. So we're the same everywhere. And authenticity works in marriages. So this book is for anyone that's thinking about getting married, because I talk about know before you go. Know before you go. Because this is my second marriage. We've been married 30 years. If I had known before I went the first time, I'd only be married one time. So know before you go. We're thinking about getting married. You've been married a long time, or you have young people that are thinking about getting married, or young people that are married. This book will help you. It's straight, no chaser, but Jesus is in the center of it.
It's good. Amen. Very well.
I just think, okay, I like to hear myself. Okay, well, gosh, we got quite a lineup here. We got a relationship guru. She's like, no, don't call me that. We got just a book full of secrets. I'm still trying to figure that out. Y'all trying to figure it out? Like, what? Now, what is it saying? What? Who's the brother? Yeah, book full of secrets. And we got a Greek counselor, and we got a ex-maker and fashion designer. I'm excited about these authors here. So definitely stop by, talk with them, buy their books, support them. Now, let me ask you this. Does anyone want to do a reading from the book? I'm going to give you opportunity to just share. Now, when I say a reading, it's not the whole book. It's maybe a paragraph, okay? Just a brief, whatever part of the book you want to share, you can share it. Or if not, just let us know your closing remarks regarding the book. And if you want to do a reading during your closing remarks, that would be great as well. It's totally up to you. You don't have to do the reading. So I'm going to go with Pastor here. Mayor, Pastor, you got a lot of titles.
Yeah, indeed I do.
I
Indeed
mean,
I do, but
husband, how many you got kids?
60 years. July 2nd was 60 years.
60 years of marriage. Oh, I think they got your family. That's wonderful. Do you have children?
I do. I have two sons.
So
Oldest son's an attorney, federal attorney. Youngest son,
so
he's from, but he's a retired NFL player.
yeah. Oh wow.
10 grandkids. Youngest
See,
son,
I mean, he's Papa and then Pastor and all that. So I may need. Huh?
Oh, hey.
Oh, there's your nephew. Oh, I love to see that. Oh. Oh, that means your family loves you. Oh, okay. I may save him for last. What y'all think? We're gonna save father, husband, pastor, mayor, fashion designer for last. See, we're gonna save you for last. We believe you guys are gonna share with us. Um, let's start with Marcus. Let's start with Marcus. We're gonna start with Marcus. This he got a lot of secrets, y'all. And then we're gonna go with. I think after you, we got to deal with the grief. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go with Trevelia, because she knows how to handle it, and she's been through a lot. And you do look good, girl. You do. I mean, you do not look like what you've been through. She got quite a story. She didn't share everything. So y'all get a chance, stop by her table, chit chat. Yeah, yeah. And then we go with Arlena. Give us some nuggets on relationships and marriage. So let's start with you, Marcus. We're gonna open up with you.
Well, this was my chapter 6 called, ironically, The Funeral Fan. So the first funeral I remember wasn't about death. It was about questions. In East Texas, funerals brought people together the same way weddings did. Family members appeared from towns you had never heard of. Relatives arrived carrying casseroles and pound cakes and stories. Old disagreements were temporarily buried, at least until after the repast. For a few hours, everybody remembered how to act like family, or at least how to perform it. I was 9 years old when we attended the funeral of a distant relative whose exactly connection nobody ever fully explained. That wasn't unusual in our family. Relationships were often introduced without details. This is your cousin. This is your aunt. This is your uncle. Nobody handed out a diagram. Nobody explained the math. You simply accepted people as people because it was easier then than to ask questions. The church was packed, the same white wooden church near Granny Lou's house, the same church I had once seen the mysterious woman staring at me from across the sanctuary. The same church where people praise God loudly while hiding truth quietly. The sanctuary felt different during funerals. The singing slowed down. The smile disappeared. Even the sunlight come through the stained glass window seemed softer. The adults dressed in black. The children sat still. At least they tried. I remember holding a funeral fan, one of those cardboard fans with a picture of Jesus on one side and the funeral home information on the other. Everybody had one. The Texas heat made sure of it. The service began, prayers, songs, scriptures, stories about deceased. Then people started crying, not loud crying, the kind that sneaks up on you, the kind that lives inside memories. As I sat beside my mother, I found myself watching the crowd more than the service, watching faces, watching reactions, watching relationships. That was becoming a habit. I didn't know it then, but I was already collecting clues. Halfway through the service, a man entered through the side door. The moment he stepped aside, several people turned to look, not casually, intentionally, like his arrival mattered. The man appeared to be in his 60s, tall, lean, gray hair, dark suit. He paused near entrance before taking a seat, and then something strange happened.
Oh, yeah, my finger.
Right.
Something strange happened. You're like, oh.
I'm holding my breath.
Okay, thank you for that cliffhanger. Okay.
So I just want to give a little caveat with this book before I read. You can read any entry in the book and it tells a story, or you can read it from front to back and it tells a chronological story. So what I want to share today is it's a memoir for a fatherless child. Acceptance. That's all that's on the page. And the reason why I chose that was because I don't have stories of growing up with my father. I don't have memories that I can share. But I was there when I got the call that he passed away. I knew he passed away. When my sister-in-law called me, I said, "What time did he die?" That's how I responded to the call. And when I was doing some inner work and doing what some people call shadow work, and I was thinking about the first time that I grieved someone, I always say I was 8 years old. But then when I really sat with it and in prayer and in meditation, it was really I was grieving since I was a little girl because my father was not there. And so there's another poem in here called Good Shoes, that every girl, every child should dance on their father's good shoes. So with acceptance and with prayer and with forgiveness, um, his absence was his own to own. My acceptance is my way to live. And this is part of the reason why I wrote this book. Thank you.
Yeah, you can pass
Oh,
this.
all right.
Who's gonna go next? We'll close out with you.
Okay, I'm not gonna read any part of the book. I'm just gonna highlight the chapters, the segments. This book is written in 3 segments. The first segment, part 1, is called The Honeymoon, the Household, the Huh. The second segment is called The Real Life Remix. And the last section is called The Battle and the Bond. Those are the 3 quarters or 3 segments of our lives. And the first part is how we got started and the things we learned about each other the hard way, like a scary closet, for example. That's another whole story. The second part is the middle life. We have the kids in school and we're working and busy and buying homes and things like that. But there's a whole lot of stuff going on that we didn't know we were going to experience. So that's the middle. And then the end is after tragedy strikes. How do you stay together? The battle and the bond. And one of my favorite chapters in that section is I didn't marry a preacher with attitude. But God knew from the beginning what our marriage was going to be. There will be 30 years, and that this book would be to help other young married couples.
Very good.
Okay. That's me.
All right, thank you. I'll just make several statements about 2 or 3 sections. Many people always even ask me now, you've been married 60 years. I say, yeah. Many of my close friends, my best man, a very famous author, good friend of my wife. My wife's a registered nurse. You've heard of Francis Ray? Writing some years ago? Francis was my wife's maid of honor. We were best friends. Francis is the reason.
It's an awesome romance, right?
Oh, man. She was the reason I got the insights on Peggy. Let me tell you. Y'all was asking. I was working as an orderly at Parkland Hospital at Arlington State College, but I had asthma. I had a major asthma attack. I'm in the hospital. The doctor told me you're going to be here 10 days. You had a respiratory arrest. So I'm laying up one morning, IVs in both arms. A nurse's aide helping me shave. And I thought the charge nurse was walking by with these 2 young nurses with striped uniforms. One of them was Peggy. And she was close to the door, so I raised up. And I said, wow. The nurse said, what is it? I said, who are those young girls? She said, Texas Woman University students doing their clinical rotations. I said, get that one closer to the hall in here, to the wall. She said, what am I going to do? I said, make something up. Make it up. So she came in. And one of them said, well, I don't see anything wrong with the IVs, but I saw a badge, Peggy Harkless. That's what I wanted. So the doctor told me I'd be there 10 days. 3 days I was discharged. I went straight to the nurse's station. I said, you got a nurse student named Peggy R. Harkless. What's her schedule? Because they knew me. They said, we're not going to tell you. I said, okay, where did they live when they're here? She said, we're not going to tell you that either, Ron. I said, we have 2 cafeterias, a big one and a small one. Where do they normally eat lunch? She said, we're not telling you.
They ain't tell you nothing.
So my shift started 3 to 11. I decided to come in every day at 12. And I just go hang out in the cafeteria.
Look at that.
So the 4th day, 5 of these young girls walked in with their little hats on. And I saw her. And I got up and I went by the table and I stopped and I looked right at her. I said, Nurse Harkless, what a serendipitous experience this is. She looked at me. Other friends looked at her. One of them said, do you know him? She said, I would have been charged for stalking today. So anyway, at least I knew where she is. And then I heard these young interns had come on in. And the interns had the reputation of they do whatever they wanted to. And I heard one of them like Peggy. So anyway, that's how I met her. But Francis Ray is the only one that gave a favorable report to Peggy about me. So anyway, that's an interesting section. People want to know how I became mayor. I covered that. After I retired as assistant city manager, I was trying to get other individuals in the community to run for office. They were constantly complaining. No minorities would ever run for office. I said, run. Then they flipped it and said, why don't you run? So I ran and I was elected 3 consecutive terms. And it was interesting, very interesting how God used us during that time. And another major section in here I encourage you to read is what we call a big decision. Well, it's something else. When I had that medical condition, while I was recovering, I loved my church. I loved pastoring. I loved visiting the sick. I loved counseling. I loved pre-marriage counseling. And my wife stood over me one day and said, Ron, the boys and I have made a decision. You got to retire. You're not going to recover. We know you want the church to go forward. You don't want to be stagnant. I've talked to the chairman of the deacon board. I've talked to the chairman of the trustee board. And my heart rate went, I could hear the buzzer going off, and I knew I had to calm down. Because all the things that were fluttering through my mind, I talk about in this book, how I felt. And that's why I titled it Reflections Forward. As I look back, it should serve as fuel to go forward and to encourage others to continue moving, continue doing good the best you can.
That's it.
All right?
That's a good enough email right there. This is good. There's some wonderful authors, y'all. Give them another hand. enjoyed our nonfiction authors. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to ask you all to go back to your seat. Now, can you play my song now? Love is the key. I've been feeding this song with maize, and they won't play it for me. But okay, so while you are going back to your tables, and I'm going to ask our last Arthur. Thank you. Okay, that's the soul part. That's literally soul part. Okay. Okay, now Inda, you can make your way up. Thank you all so much, and make sure you visit with these authors and share their story. Thank you. You got it, Patrick? Thank you. I enjoyed that segment. Okay, now where are my children? Inda, are you coming? I think you're my only children, Arthur, so come forward. And then after Inda, we're going to take a break. I want you all to meet and greet the Arthurs. There's been some great stories. Oh, Tanya's here. Oh, come on, Tanya. Okay. So I got two children. Yay. Oh, you look so pretty. Oh my gosh. Thank you, guys. Shout out to all our independent authors, our local independent authors around here, around in North Texas. Please continue to support them. Invite them onto your groups outside of the bookstore. That's what the purpose of this event is, to introduce authors to our community. Okay. Okay, y'all. Let's turn the music down. And let me finish with the children, Arthurs. I know y'all ready to talk with. Okay. If we can get everybody to have a seat, and this next segment is a real quick segment. And it's a very special segment because we're going to do an unboxing and an unboxing, y'all. This is wonderful. We have two children's authors that's here with us today. Now I'm going to ask you to use your library voice if you want to talk, because we're still live, and we got one more segment to go with our children, and then we're going to meet and greet and love on each other. Um, so we have Inda here and Tanya. I'm going to quickly have you introduce yourselves. You didn't bring your book up, Inda? Oh, you got your book. Okay. So let's I want you all to introduce yourselves, and then we have a special unveiling that we're going to do with Tanya, because she's going to do her unboxing today. They just arrived and she wants to do her unboxing. So go ahead, Inda. I want you to start. Introduce yourself and your book. Which one? Yeah, you can do, yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm going to start with my gong. I'm going to beat this gong a little bit because these are one of the instruments I grew up knowing, and so it ties with this book. So the drummer did his part. I'll do mine now. Okay. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. And that, you call that a drum?
That's a gong.
Gong.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
gong.
a gong.
That's a different drum.
Yeah, all the way from Africa. You can't find it on Amazon. I tried and you can't find it from there. Yeah, it came all the way from home. So I am called Dr. Elizabeth Epchenge, and I am originally from Cameroon, West Africa. And I am the author of 10 African folk tales. Just from the name, you can tell what it's all about, 10 African folk tales. And I got my inspiration from my dad. He is the original author of this book. And so he's of late, he passed away decades ago, 1992. So I was just 11 when he passed away. And like a little girl, I didn't know, all that was going on at that time. But over the years, I discovered the book he wrote, and I flipped through the pages. And as the years went by, I read through the stories, and I was like, this is so interesting. I love these stories because the way he wrote it, it was also designed for schools because it comes with comprehension questions and vocabulary questions. So I told myself, I would like to take this to the next level. My mom wasn't very much interested, or my other siblings, but I was like, one day I'm going to do this. So, in addition, now I am a pharmacist by profession, and I love history. I love teaching people or counseling people about health. But then I am also a Sunday school teacher. I love working with kids. So that was also an additional part of my inspiration. And 17 years ago, I used to be a substitute teacher. And that was also another inspiration because at the end of every, my teaching lessons, I would just love to talk to them about Africa because they started asking me lots of questions. And so I would talk to them, and then I had my dad's manuscript with me. So I would read a story or two, and my God, you needed to see the interest. They were like, they loved every bit of it, and probably because it was coming from a different setting. Because this takes me back to, we all know of Disney's The Lion King, and we all know of Mufasa too. So these are all stories inspired by the spirit and tradition of African storytelling, and which also shows how important and powerful these tales are. So 10 African folk tales was created to preserve and promote the richness, the beauty, and the African culture. And today I am honored and humbled to say that my dad's original version, his friend, back home many years back, I don't know how he did it, but he kind of published it in his own little way and sent it over here to the US. But I'm honored to say that original copy of his has been cataloged and is preserved in some major institutions here, like the Library of Congress. It's also at Harvard University, it's at Yale, it is found in the New York Public Library to Michigan State University, University of Indiana, University of Iowa, and Amherst College in Massachusetts. So, just knowing all of that tells me these institutions, found this book culturally and historically vital to preserve for generations to come. So culture is a beautiful thing, and I think we all should always be open to embrace, different cultures, because the more open you are, the more you will learn. And also, African folk tales are not just stories. They go beyond just stories because they teach so much about moral lessons, moral values, courage, wisdom, and the importance the importance of community. So this is something we need to remind ourselves of, and also to teach our children, because it goes way beyond just stories because of the value and the lessons with which they carry.
I thank you. I hope you look at me. It's beautiful, beautiful cover. I love it. Okay. All right, Tanya, you can share yours.
Yeah.
These children authors are very creative, so I'm just letting them have their moment. What you gonna do?
I'm going to start off by first, congratulations. Yeah. And congratulations to all the authors here. We all start and have a story, and it takes a lot to see it all the way through. So, very, very honored and proud to be here amongst you. And I will say, for me, I also spend a lot of time in corporate America. And I remember that Texas sun hitting me as I stood outside. And my son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, with autism spectrum disorder. And I was furious. I was angry, and I went on a girls' trip. And sometimes you need people in your life that will tell you what you need to hear. And we have, I think, statistically 1 in 31 kids that are diagnosed with autism spectrum. And it's something that is not spoken about in our community. And the sooner you can get your child help, the better they will be, because 90% of a child's brain development happens before the age of 6. So my friend probably saved my son's life, and I quit my corporate America job, and I never looked back. And it started off with just 3 short stories with all the speech lessons and all the things to help him get the help that he needed. So you'll find a lot of embedded speech lessons, a lot of developmental milestones, and he loves cars. So it's all about cars. And I take that premise because if a kid won't sit down with a book, it limits their academic growth, right? And I didn't want my son to be in a position of a victim. I wanted to empower him. I wanted to give him strength. So that's really what started this whole journey. And, you know, I was listening to some of the stories from you all today, and I'm super excited because this is very, very fitting. And life comes at us fast. And whether it's aging parents, whether it's in our household, like Pastor, Reverend, Mayor, and all, and all the things, life comes at us fast. And when you are a mother and you have an exceptional little boy, it's very difficult to talk to him about everything that's happening in the household in a way that doesn't scare him. You know, so little truck and daddy truck, they go on a road trip. They're going to auntie's house. They hit a speed bump and daddy just falls apart. And they find a kind mechanic that rebuilds him. And on the way out, they ring the bell. And I'd like to present to you all Spectrum of Cars Rescue and Recovery Road.
Okay.
This is my hardcover. Oh, it's beautiful.
There it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's a beautiful book.
Y'all know, like an unboxing, like a baby reveal.
Well, you know, first time author is a big deal when you get your book in.
Yeah.
So, and it's great. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So thank you all very, very much.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any words, any congratulations, any questions for our children authors? If not, then we're going to let you all meet and greet. Any questions for them? Okay. I think we're.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes. Okay, okay.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know what you're doing?
Tell me about your business and who you're with.
My name is Ray Williams. I am the CEO and founder of Emmett Incorporated, doing business as Greenway Capital Management. We're a personal financial consulting, education, and coaching business. And what I'm doing today, I have a podcast. So what I'm doing today in honor of Support Black History Month, which is August.
Black August.
Black August, yeah, thank you. Black August.
Well, history press is 365.
Black business, it's black, yeah, business, support Black Business Month. So I would like to interview each author because generally on my each episode, I do a book. I recommend a book for during that particular episode. But these next 2 episodes, then I'll do all the authors, nothing but book recommendations. So what I like to do, if you like to participate, I'd like to do an interview with you, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and basically just give your information, name of your book, your email address, which we'll post during the podcast. And also my book is used, the letter plural, rules for financial success, how to unlink the poverty chain. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Ariana, can you come take a picture of us? Thank you. So y'all be prepared. Ray's gonna come and interview you all. Okay. You want your thoughts? If you want, what about just okay.
1, 2, 3. On again. Okay.
And I didn't get a picture of my nonfiction author, so just meet me by the stand when I get a chance. I mean, by the picture thing. All right, so now, Diane, did you have some words you want to
I
say?
just want to make sure, did we get the video of her doing her unboxing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Live.
okay, sure. Okay.
All right. All right. In fact, you can cut off the live, but let me just say this. Thank you all for joining us for Literary Soul Fest. If you are in the DFW area, come meet and greet these wonderful authors. It's been a wonderful lineup of authors. I'm so excited. We have, of course, children authors, and then we have our nonfiction authors, who's dealing with a range of topics. And we also have some fiction authors here as well. So definitely make your way here. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us for the Literary Soul Fest. Thank you. All right.